Dennis identify the drains he's talking about, because, you know, I worry about with the county talking about how expensive these complaints are going to come to investigate. If someone can just file a complaint and say, you know, I think it's coming from these properties, now you go out and do all the work. I don't think that's what the statute was intended to do. So I don't know on here, looking at here, you know, where he's talking about the drainage coming from. And we need to know that in order to determine what the watershed is, because, you know, before you start investigating whether it was new drainage, improvement, maintenance, if the watershed of it's not over 80 acres, it's irrelevant anyways. We don't have jurisdiction.
Say, Thomas, can you slide that map to the left and then push it up?
Go like this?
No, well, that's our right. Go the other way. Okay, now slide it up. Stop right there.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, there was a tile project. You and I talked about this yesterday, Kale. Looks like that's been tiled, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay. There's a culvert that's buried through this hill that was done back in okay, there it is. It's like 1,400 feet long, and John Polroyce's dad did that back in 1975, you know, to help get rid of the water. Because once it goes through there, and you can see where it kind of runs to the north, that actually goes back up into Wells County and then goes to the Pipestem Creek.
Thomas, can you turn your townships on, or what section is that in, or that tile is? Oh, I see now too.
This is in yeah, this would be Stutzman County. The county line is up here.
Okay, and that's not one of the properties identified in this complaint.
No, but that's where the water ends up going. If, you know, obviously what Dennis has said to my brother-in-law is that he wants to stop the water at the county line. Well, that's not an option, because that's the direction that the water naturally goes. So, and then when the water gets high enough, it all runs to the east and then goes through there, through that hill, through that culvert, and it gets out. There's a lot of road flooding problems down in this area.
But boy, the complaints just on account of farmers maintaining established drains, it's just like,
there's really no complaint.
I know, it's just, and I don't know, I got no proof of that, but if that's all that is, because that's really kind of what the house thing was, kind of more or less, it's just like, doesn't that start with NRCS? That's what I don't quite understand. I mean, if it's on account of illegal drainage, well.
Now let's go back over to section 3. Okay. Now, let's go right on the north side of the county line.
Hi, this is Dennis. Dennis, this is Tammy with the Wells County Waterboard.
He forgot to come.
Were you coming in today?
Yeah, there's so many
Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
areas where water can drain many different directions, and it's just nice to know what the complaint specifically is about.
And as you can see, you know, where some of these, well, like in section 35, there's a slough in 34. You can just see those areas that have washed and just washed it out and run to the next slough is basically what happens down there, because there's so much elevation. And, you know, once it fills one, it just has a domino effect and it goes into the next one.
You talking about the stuff that comes from north into that yard?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
The yard?
Yeah.
Not for a while, I haven't, no.
Tell them to scroll down, you should look at that, it's like damn near 2 sections of water. There's a road completely gone out in that area.
Yeah.
Because the water is.
This, you know, like John told me, he said this started, you know, the road started flooding out 15 years ago already.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah.
When I started trucking,
Yeah.
down there with cattle.
So, and the truck, is he on his way?
Yeah, he's in Pheasant, he said he just pulled in the Pheasant, so.
Okay. Well, so he'll be here in a minute.
Questions in 36, correct? Look at my map.
That's what I'm kind of seeing too. It's kind of second 34, 35,
Found out this is obviously the county line.
36.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing, all these maps you gave us, there's nothing wrong. I mean, you said this one.
Well, we got 35 also.
34, 35, 36, so it's this whole, it's a
The
whole.
complaint, the complaint identified all of 34, all of 35, and then the south half of 36.
All that area.
It's just massive sloughs down there.
There's not a lot of water.
What's that?
There's a lot of water.
Yeah, yeah. Then when you get 20, 25 inches of rain in a summer, that don't help the situation, Matt, either. The only thing that's.
Tammy, do you have a copy of that policy printed so you can sign that?
I do, so I'll just explain to him, this just gives the board the authority to review his complaints.
And then the next step would be that we would invite the parties in to talk about it before we start an investigation. To me, this looks like the best thing that they could actually do is get together and petition the Waterboard to, kind of set up an assessed drain to alleviate some of the flooding down there. But, and it's really gonna get bad when that 50-year-old culvert I was telling you about, when that's completely shot and the water won't run through that no more. It's really slow now, because about 10 years ago, John had asked me about, would plastic pipe and stuff work in, putting in there. Because he said it needs to be redone, because it's, rusting out. And, of course, that's expensive, but when that collapses and quits running, there's gonna be massive amounts of flooding down there then.
And so I actually know that area better than I thought I did, now that I kind of got my eyes on it.
Whose culvert is it?
It's actually, it's on John's land. It was John's dad that put it in 50 years ago. So,
I just ran a elevation profile across there. That is a big hill that they cut across.
yeah,
And that culvert is deep.
yeah, I think he said it gets to like 20 or 22 feet deep. Yeah. So,
Yeah, 'cause there's that church, they took all the trees out around it.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, if that culvert one wasn't there, that church would flood out too, probably.
So the culvert's gone, it all stays.
It's what?
If the culvert's gone, it all stays.
No place for it to get out then.
Yeah, the church would be in some trouble. There's a lot of water right in that area.
Mhm.
I would feel that at all.
I tell you what, when you go up in a plane, like we took off out of Carrington on a plane here a couple years ago, and we went out and made the loop going back to the south because we were going to Nebraska, and it is insane the amount of sloughs down there, just unbelievable. When you drive through that area, you would never think it was that bad.
No, you think about it, you hit the county line, you go this way, then you straighten out, then you go this way, this way, this way,
Mhm.
and then you're straight again. Then if you keep going, the highway curves around, it goes to Mallard Marsh and all that, and now you go south. There's a lot of water down there.
You don't take pictures with this drone?
Yeah, he could. Well, maybe not that one. We've got a small drone that we do that with. It really works nice.
Yeah, 03 and 10, I mean, that's just, that chunk of water is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the road signs, because there's a farm, I think, right over there on 10. Yeah, there's a driveway going into it.
Now, where's Russell Rexon's place at? Do you know?
That I do not know.
Okay.
That I don't know. I just found out that's where Jerry lived like a year ago. we go down that way, there's like more truck stuff showing up, so.
What if you got lost?
Been here twice.
Hopefully you can go to the courthouse.
No, he's been here twice. I
Oh,
told him
yeah.
not to.
Come on, let's go. Oh, as long as we're sitting here, let's set a different date for the joint board and our regular meeting. 10th or 12th work for you guys?
Yeah, either one will work for me, so.
12th was better, 10th not good for me.
Okay.
How about the 13th, right? The 12th is Foster County's meeting at 7 a.m. Unless you want Sean McGinnis to.
Let's go the 13th then. Is that okay with you guys? Okay.
March 13th?
Yep.
That's 8 o'clock here?
Yep.
That's Thursday. That's Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make it work. I'll try to.
Tammy, you'll take care of the special meeting notice?
You already got it on the calendar?
No, I got hold of Eddie County, so Eddie County, we're on to joint 1 o'clock,
I think so.
Is that here?
Eddie,
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll set up for the same day.
Oh.
You send out a text, Tammy,
I can,
That really works good.
for that extra $100?
yeah, I can do that.
Oh.
Give you more work.
She puts a lot of hours into this Waterboard.
I'm doing a lot of title people have been calling me, so it must be a lot of land switching hands, I've been getting a lot of title.
Well, questions about the special assessments on it, yeah.
I have some of the macro farm, so I'm wondering if that's,
Oh, really?
this title company called me on that one,
Okay.
all $10 of it.
Oh my gosh, I just got to my sister about the special assessment on hers. Well, I don't know why I should be paying that. So your water runs off the field. Like, seriously? Oh.
If you want it, you gotta pay for it, if you don't want it, you gotta pay for it.
Yep.
It's just water.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call him again.
Is that in there?
Yes. Yep, that's him.
Cutting her down to the wire.
Is that the same one? I've only seen him.
So what we'll have you do, Thomas, is we'll have you scroll in on section 35 and 36 a little farther so we can see it better.
35 and 36?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's weird.
His son.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Have a chair. I'm gonna have you sign this. This just gives the water board authority to review your complaints and do any investigating that they need to. Okay.
While he's doing that, Jerry, do you want to go up on the map here and show us where the drainage cord there in front of you.
Well, the ones that cause all the problems, are these over here, 34. This is where it's all gonna start out from.
Mm-hmm.
So can we slide it over to 34?
Okay, you wanna move the, map over so we can look at 34, please? Okay,
All right, but this whole section all drains into these two areas here.
mm-hmm,
There's big drains through here, through these areas here. There's some through here, but I believe they go over into here, which contributes to all this water here.
mm-hmm,
What happens is a lot of this comes through, and this overland floods from this slough into this slough.
Yep.
So much water drains into it.
Yep.
And then it comes across down here through Lee Garrett's land.
mm-hmm, okay,
And then that all overland floods through here in section 4, up around. It comes through in the 35 here and fills us all up. And all the water coming across here. And then it finally comes through here, and it comes through a culvert here. But there's a lot of big deep ditches in here and stuff, and this all was a long time ago.
yeah. Back in 1982 was when the first complaint was filed.
Okay,
It's because we have that information already. Stutzman County sent that up to us, several months ago.
okay,
But anyway,
and that was for over here?
I believe so, yes.
No, I think what Dad did was over here in 36. And that was, a lot of them were filled in. This is the stuff you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, that's the main stuff. They put that, you know, they flooded the road out.
Mm-hmm.
So then they put a culvert in and they still had to build the road up. So now we're still it's going right across our field. We can't go from one side of our section to the other without going around the road.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And now we're holding a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
We got one culvert letting it out, but don't let it out very far down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then that water runs to the east across
Yeah.
the county highway, and then it goes into John Fulrice's
Down full right.
and goes through that hill and then goes north up to the Pipestem Creek, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
One thing,
culvert through that hill is way too small.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's gonna wash out,
it is probably.
rot out.
And well, it's 50 years old too.
Yeah.
John told me that, so.
One problem is right over here. Where am I at here? Okay, right here. In 2000, the winter 2011, 2012, we had a lot of snow.
Mhm.
Every culvert around was froze shut, you know,
Mhm.
because it was a wet fall.
Yep.
Well, the water was going over the road here, and they just dug and put another culvert in there. Thinking that one was blocked, well, it was froze up. So there's two culverts there.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it started.
Now, who did
Pushes
that?
all that, pushes all that, much more water all through here,
Mm-hmm.
which fills up everything.
Okay, and then it didn't help last summer with all the rain that got down there either.
No,
No. And then it fills in the Garrett's so bad that it backs up and comes down further to us and comes in through more culverts because they had to build a road, so they put them way down on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because the road on the south of us, that was the main road going to the farm, they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, building it 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
and they flooded it out again, so they had to build the road on the west side of me again.
Okay. Okay. But basically you're filing the complaint against, Russell and Mike Rexon?
Yeah, Mike just bought that stuff across the road from us, that's really coming in there. Michael was the one that did all the ditching.
Okay, alrighty.
And Russell did quite a bit over that other deep one, big deep one.
So your complaint is on volume or speed? I mean, is your complaint the amount of water coming or?
It's the amount of water,
It's the
yeah,
amount,
cause it ran,
or is it coming too fast? I guess that's my question. Is it coming
It's been
too
running
fast?
across our farm for
well, it's
4 years.
been coming across there since, well, now for 4 years, yeah. And,
Okay,
you know, it slows down and stops in rainfall.
Well, you
But now
pointed out the two culverts there. I mean, is that part of the problem? You think?
Well, yeah, there's way too much culvert there, and they haven't done anything with raising the road up because that slough is so big that's around that farm. This one right over here.
Yeah.
This road should have been raised up.
That's the 34.
And the culvert that they thought was,
whose
Well,
farm is
Gupper.
that right there?
Your farmland.
that, Brenda Klein lives there, so that's Russell Rexon's farm.
Okay,
This Brenda Klein owns it now, his
okay,
daughter.
okay. Well, tell you
So I
what,
would have thought that when they put that new culvert in there, they should have took out the other one. And possibly raised, you know, more likely should have raised the road then.
was that a township that did that?
Yeah.
Okay. Way our procedure works is you guys came in here, you identified it. We'll have you identify that on your maps, you know, like draw with some kind of a marker that we can see. You know, where the drains you think, or you know what the drains actually are, or where they're at. And then, what we will do is we will have another meeting and we will invite in, like Russell and Mike to come in, and whoever else you think should be a part of this. So we would do that for our March meeting, and then we'll sit down and talk about it and, you know, see if we can come up with some kind of a solution. The reason that we did this is because before we started this, we would have the engineer go out and take a look at the site and do all this stuff. And it's gotten so expensive to do that kind of stuff. And just trying to save money, this is kind of the procedure that we're doing now. We're, you know, if we can reach some kind of a agreement between the parties, you know, ahead of time without going that far.
Yeah, you know, this actually drains, you know, with that one culvert in the polarizes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Should he have him here too? It's affecting him.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. I visited with John the other day about this a little bit too, and I actually asked him yesterday if there any way he can be here today, and he said he can't make it today. He's gone. But anyway, I think, you know, like John, yourself, Russell, and Mike. You said Lee Garrett is affected
Lee
by all
gave
this.
me a map of his, but he couldn't make it, but he wants to get a form to fill out too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Just food for thought for you guys. I've known that this is a problem area for a long time because John and I had talked about that. In fact, I think it's almost 10 years ago he talked to me about, you know, that pipe that goes through that hill, you know, to replace it because it's 50 years old, right? Well, it wasn't then at the time, but what you probably need to do is come up with some kind of a project that you could just, you know, get rid of some of that water.
gotta get rid of, cause this washed out the back of my farm,
Mm-hmm.
dead.
Mm-hmm.
It never got as full as, last year was as full as it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Well,
it's,
So,
Rolling
the
away
first
the
year he
bank.
ran over the pavement.
well, it's.
I
because-
talked to the county, that Sutsman County, road crew.
Mhm.
And they're talking about working on that road. And I kind of explained what's going on. He said, well, we could take that culvert out, but it's gonna cost
Mhm.
be willing to do it, but it's gonna cost money. People gotta
Mhm.
get together, I think, and put money into it
Mhm.
or something.
The cheapest, the best thing you guys can all do with respect to, all of a sudden you start getting into assessed drains and everything, the best thing you guys could do is all put your heads together
Yeah,
and
that's
come
what
up with a solution amongst yourselves, because if we get involved, it just gets to be US Fish and Wildlife, you name it, it goes right on down the line, and we, so whether
Yeah, I'm
something
trying
can
to
be done
get
that
people
way.
to work on it.
Yeah.
Is,
There's no sense getting mad at one another.
that
No,
doesn't
No,
accomplish
they're gonna go
nothing.
nowhere.
You know, that ain't gonna work.
No,
One thing that we had kind of thought about was that this was drained out through over to here where it comes through, where it's already washed out 6 feet wide, 4 feet deep. You know, it would come through, so that's, initially that's what's going on too. You know, if it was dug out along this road or something, so that water wouldn't have to come across here to wreck this whole field. I mean, I got a 27-acre little patch right here.
Yeah, it really messes our fields up.
Are you guys aware, is US Fish and Wildlife involved in any of this ground there?
Yes.
Are they?
It is on ours.
Okay.
And he
Ours
shows
and
what we can
Garrett's.
do. You know, right here where the water comes through, that's not one of their protected areas. That is big area, but not this complete area.
You can give to them,
Yes, I will.
This is all water right here.
the very back page too. And that's-
But
and
originally, when my grandfather signed this up, it was only this one. Okay. 68.
there would be permits that would have to be gotten for this too, because obviously it's a lot larger than 80-acre watershed that we're dealing with. But, it's easier for, Kale, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's easier for farmers to get a permit than it is for a water board, correct?
It's the same statute, same process for whether
The
it's
Suffolk
farm
County
or
Water Board said that we could get a permit, temporary permit, to take out this thing, and then they said, we use it, always grant full permit later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, where it's coming across our field, it wouldn't take much in Wells County side of the road to go down the ditch, and the water would come in,
Mm-hmm.
still come into us, but
Mm-hmm. I think it's something that we're probably gonna have to go down and do a site visit too, just to get, lay eyes on it, just, better
Yeah.
idea.
Have you talked to the guys that farm down there about taking that water down the side of the road? Or no?
Well, they did a long time ago, and the township board said, well, no, you can't do that. Of course, that's Johnson Township, and on the Wells County side. And this, well, but I don't see why not, because there's a great big ditch, deep ditch right along here someplace, I think right here. There's a couple of them right along the road. If you know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's 10, 12 feet
when
deep.
Cybele was farming it, he actually tore the road out, let's say, the county road, Prairie Trail that went
Section.
through, it was a road actually.
Yeah.
'Cause we used to go back to that section.
Mm-hmm.
They tore it all out, and that's where the water comes across too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what we'll do. You think of who you would like to bring along with you and talk to them. And, our next meeting is gonna be March 13th. Will be our next meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. We will probably have you come in, a little earlier, like around 8:30. That works for you then? And, we'll go from there.
Okay.
See what we can do. Cause yeah, if you guys can come into an agreement, it's gonna be a whole lot easier.
Well, yeah, what I don't like is tearing up our fields
Mhm.
and washing out huge ditch.
Yeah. I've seen some of the washouts in John's fields, and it's just, that's ugly. You know, it's, well, you got the two worst things, you got lots of potholes and you got lots of elevation. That's a bad combination for water.
Right, because when it starts moving, it just cuts. like
Yep.
crazy.
Yep, exactly.
And it never starts moving out wide, it always starts something little, so it really runs
Yep.
through there like
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
It just gets deeper.
If you wanna make another one, I'll give one to
Oh, sure.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in. I need to get rolling here, so I think we're pretty much done with our meeting, aren't we? Somebody wanna make a motion to adjourn? Kale, do you have any questions about this?
I just wanna clarify, Tammy, you're gonna be sending out, a notice to Michael and Russell Gretson, inviting them to the March meeting and giving them a copy of the updated complaint
Yes,
forms today.
yes.
Okay. That's all I wanted to check, Larry, thanks.
Okay, Thomas, do you have any questions?
Not right now, I'll probably need some clarification on specifically where these ditches are. But it sounds like that's being taken care of.
Did you want
Yep.
to do that?
Spelled out a little bit
If you
better.
don't mind, yes, please. Because it's actually not a completed complaint without that, so if you could just draw those in and just leave it here with Tammy. Just do that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
clarification on my end, so we wanna invite John Polrace, Russ and Mike Rixine, Johnson Township, North Johnson Township,
We could. Lee
Lee
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yep.
Anybody else?
What about, township board?
She's got that on
Johnson?
there.
Johnson
yeah.
Township?
Who's the township officers down there?
John, I can look. I
In
have it,
Johnson Township, I don't know.
I have it.
Okay.
What about in Sutton, or Lowry Township?
I don't know any people down there.
Well, Michael Rexine is one of them.
Okay,
He's on it,
okay.
and then, Schultz,
You know, I'd rather not have him here, but you know. whatever.
Is that Mitch Schultz then?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
you can't tell him anything.
okay. Well, we'll deal with him. So.
What township was that?
Lowry.
Lowry, oh, that's only what that is.
Yeah, no kidding. What's one more thorn in the side?
They sent Goder over to ask about putting the culvert in, and I said, no. And if you do, I want a gate on it.
Mhm.
I just put it in, I said, we didn't, I never said that,
Okay,
so.
anyway, well.
So yeah, if you could draw your maps and I'll keep them here. You know,
Yep.
you guys- Or I can make a copy if you wanna I can make a copy of it and then you can draw it in if you want.
That sounds good.
I'll do that.
Okay.
That way we still got a copy.
That way you've got a copy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, motion to adjourn. Second. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, guys.
Here, I'll make a copy of that one and that way, I'll make a copy of that and then you can draw it in.
No,
There's a copy of the other ones too.
Oh, okay, yeah, it should be a little warmer than maybe.
35 to 40 is what it's supposed to be. So it isn't gonna be real warm, but it'll be better than here.
Oh, okay. The water comes in.
I'm Cheryl Ryan.
It'd be easier.
Okay,
Hey,
you're related
two maps,
to
because
your
if
little
you're like
sister,
me,
right?
screw up on one.
Okay. Alrighty.
So,
This was
Okay.
and the rest of the board,
This is Brian Brennelson
This is right there,
from the Herschel area. Tom
Right
Hay,
here on the water.
out west of Pheasant.
Easier to show that.
Devin Long is
Oh,
down
cool.
south of Pheasant down here by
Yes.
the Eaton area.
It comes in here.
So.
This
And
is
our
where all the
other guy
lines are.
is Chad Remke, and you, I think you know Chad.
Those are here.
Yeah.
In there.
So,
so, okay,
anyway,
you kind of
Here.
understand what we're doing by recording meetings and,
yeah.
okay,
Right.
I don't bother us.
okay. We're just trying to get word out to
Comes out here.
everybody,
Yes.
you know, you can see
Comes
the meeting,
Comes out
get it
here,
online, and
inside, and comes around,
just get information.
back into us again.
Because some of the cases that we deal with, it would have really been nice to have that about 2 years ago.
Well, we started out a year ago, meeting,
Yeah.
someone had mentioned it, so
Mhm.
we started
Put
doing
those
weekly
together.
meetings. And, I had gone, while I was chamber director in Harvey
Mm.
for about a year and a half. Like the commissioners every now and then, but they don't quite understand.
I have these.
Unless you come
Oh, you do?
Yeah, those I have.
That's exactly right.
And,
Yep.
you know, I've learned a lot.
See, that was you want us to,
doing it.
yep.
So the ones you draw in, I'm gonna take a copy, I'm gonna keep
Oh,
that.
you're gonna make a
Then you
copy of
start
that?
seeing
Yep.
things and it's like,
Okay.
okay, people need to be aware, you know, of what's going on.
Yep.
And if you see the recording, then it's not our
Put them together.
Mhm.
or, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah, cause I'm actually gonna go back and look at this, the last couple of official meetings. With,
because they're not recorded other than what we're recording.
right,
Okay.
yep, that's correct.
So,
The only time that we would ever record anything here is if we have to go into executive session. We have to record that, but then everybody, nobody can be in here besides us either at that point yet. But, so you understand that as well.
yeah.
So, yeah, no,
And
we
we
don't have a
don't,
problem with it.
and we just don't disturb or anything. We're just here to help get information out.
Yep.
Map of ours.
So,
Yep.
but anyway, okay. Well,
All right.
it's nice meeting you all. and
Yep. You too.
so,
So, alrighty, we'll see you in the next
And
one.
these have to be the most boring that you probably attend.
Well, there's,
It's a
no,
lot of
no,
water.
no, no. When you, like, this is the second meeting I've been to,
Mhm.
okay? So I'm
What are you
starting to
rushing home to do
understand
today,
a little bit more kind of how
Well, I
everything
got stuff
works,
to do.
you know?
Very complex.
Yeah,
But it's debatable whether you're gonna do it or not.
so,
Yeah. Alrighty.
we see,
No.
okay, you know, so,
Ceiling.
okay.
Just that not understanding and constantly asking. So what?
When you get somebody
It'd have to kind of be, you can do that, way, but I can't.
I would tend to think the same approach, but no, I do.
So,
Oh,
and
okay.
then you drive.
See, I struggle with keyboard.
Oh, yeah. I could make,
Them showing up, or I need to give you different
you know,
color?
but the cattle don't judge when you play.
Okay.
Okay.
If you see
It's gotta be in the house or something.
I think-